Hey folks, welcome back. I'm Dave. This is the Radical Independent. I am that guy. I am that radical independent guy. Don't forget, if you'd like, you could follow me over on Twitter. You can become a patron, and we can converse through messaging via Patreon. You can patronize for as little as $1 a month, or you can hit me with a one-time gift over at PayPal, because typically I do include my PayPal email address in the description of the video. Tulsi Gabbard is becoming a thorn in everybody's side. Can't see this entire article, at least the headline of the article. Gabbard calls out 2020 opponents fundraising off impeachment. Oh, this is just... Look, Tulsi Gabbard is a thorn. She is a thorn to the establishment. She is a thorn to politics as usual. She is not going to go quietly out of the picture. She's going to continue to make the case that even though she's going along with the impeachment inquiry. By the way, my impeachment video from yesterday, boy, did I get a lot of views on that. Not. I just wanted to present the case for impeachment from a completely different perspective, which I did, and people still didn't watch the video, and apparently they didn't like my premise and so forth. You know, if you're a recovering Trump addict like myself, and you're coming over here and you're thinking I'm going to be sympathetic toward Donald Trump, not so much. Yeah, I do think the media has given Trump, a raw deal at times, but and I do think Trump ran kind of as an anti-establishment guy, but he's not governed that way. He's just been sucked in by the vortex, and he's become a good neocon for the most part, with a few minor exceptions. Anyway, this from The Hill. The Hill has this great TV program now featuring Crystal Ball. You need to check that out. It's called Rising. Anyway, presidential hopeful Representative Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat from Hawaii, called out her Democratic opponents for fundraising off of impeachment on Monday, accusing them of undermining the credibility of the inquiry. Now, who would have thought of this? See, this is what makes Tulsi Gabbard really just a better candidate. First of all, she was a reluctant participant in this because she wanted to talk about issues. And again, I've tweeted out what this inquiry distracts us from, which is a whole host of issues that need to be talked about. Progressives recently have, driven the bus over Tulsi, backed it up and driven it forward a couple of times with regards to her Medicare choice, using the evil word choice. And again, I've heard all the arguments about it, but nobody seems to want to read the content of what she's proposing versus what Bernie is proposing versus the House bill. It pretty much all the same thing. They all allow for some form of private insurance. They don't completely eliminate it. And it's going to be a tough go, especially when countries like Sweden and France, they do still allow private insurance. And supposedly those are two models that this program is based off of. Anyway, candidates for POTUS who are fundraising off impeachment are undermining credibility of the inquiry in the eyes of the American people, further dividing our already fractured country. See, if your goal is anarchy, and my goal is not anarchy, I am for peace. I am for peace abroad, and I am for peace at home. In fact, it scares me when I see folks who say support Bernie Sanders, who also come out loving groups like Antifa. All right? That is not the Martin Luther King way. It's not the Gandhi way. Certainly not the Tulsi Gabbard way. But there are strains of anarchy and a radical side to some of these folks that say, good, let the system burn, let it blow up, let bad things happen. I'm not going to be responsible for that, even though you are, because you keep turning the rhetoric up rather than down. Here, Gabbard is making an appeal saying you're dividing our already fractured country. Look, people are upset that Donald Trump is the president, and I'm understanding more these days why they're upset. The problem is their reasoning for being upset, I think, is more related to psychology than it is quality of life or the issues that are. Now, you may say, well, Trump rolled back all the regulations. Trump, if you are a firm, real progressive, meaning that the issues matter to you and not the tribalist BS, then this little diatribe isn't for you. She says, please stop. We need responsible, patriotic. Oh, she used another word. Patriotic. You can't be a... Look, patriotic. Remember when dissent was patriotic? But you can't even use the word patriotic. You can't use choice. You can't use patriotic. This is where some in the progressive movement are losing their grip on reality. That you can't have words like patriotic. You can't have words like choice. Patriotic leaders put the interests of our country before they own, she continued. So she defines what it means to be patriotic. So it's quite clear that Tulsi Gabbard is going to be a thorn in the side of everybody. And this is what they call leadership. You know, they always say, well, you know, what makes it for a good leader? A good leader doesn't follow a trend. A good leader starts their own trend. We need responsible, patriotic leaders. See, she's into this impeachment inquiry because she didn't like probably the tone of the memo. And again, the memo exposes Joe Biden. The media isn't going to really investigate if what Trump was hinting at is really that important. They're going to give Biden a pass. Biden is sinking quickly. And, you know, the Elizabeth Warren narrative is, you know, full steam ahead. Even Matt Drudge over on the right said it's Elizabeth Warren's nomination to lose at this point, which I'm sure isn't making the Bernie people all that happy. Look, if you're a burner and you're over here just because, you know, you're curious, look, again, I'd take Bernie over Elizabeth Warren. However, you know, again, I'm disturbed by the level of, I guess, animus unnecessarily directed at Tulsi Gabbard for using certain words that, you know, aren't progressive focus tested. And I would hope that people of good faith and good conscience would cut Tulsi Gabbard some slack. Tulsi Gabbard is not going away, though. I can tell her campaign is actually ramping up. If you go follow her campaign guy over on Twitter, and his name escapes me, although he follows me and I follow him now, there's no indication that this campaign's going away. And for those of you who are establishment types and you want her to go away because she's going to start talking about foreign policy again, she's not going away. It's going to be interesting to see. And who knows, maybe at the end of all of this, Tulsi will get even more fire in her belly and say, you know what? We need to start a movement. And not that she feels as though she's this charismatic leader, but she's more charismatic and more interesting than she gives herself credit for. I think a lot of people admire the traits, her background, her resume. It's absolutely perfect for someone running for president. It's like she's the anti-Donald Trump, and I think I did a video about that. She's somebody who served the country and still serving the country. And I know that bothers the TYT wing of progressivism, whatever that is. I don't even know anymore. I mean, labels and media outlets and what group, what tribe you follow, those things right now to me they're just irritants. They're making me more frustrated as I go along doing this. So, in any event, Tulsi Gabbard calling out the impeachment crowd because, yeah, it's a moneymaker. Because this is what they've based their presidential campaign on, just getting rid of Trump. And that's not enough. You've got to reform this government. You've got to put controls on banks. You've got to do what you say you're going to do when it comes to the issues. And I have little faith that any of these people, other than Tulsi Gabbard and maybe Bernie Sanders, but definitely Tulsi Gabbard, she'll get it done. The other ones are just basically wanting to take the office away from Trump. And that is not enough for me to go and vote for somebody. I will go green. I will stay home. You know, I've been hearing that the green people don't like Tulsi Gabbard, or at least the higher ups within the Green Party. They'll have to reach out to me. A couple of them actually have. See, that's the thing. One of them said, yeah, I don't know why Tulsi's still a Democrat. I think they would take Tulsi. If they want to raise the profile of their party, and Tulsi wanted to go over there, I have a feeling that she would bring in some new, fresh recruits over there. I mean, people who wanted to sign up and become Green Party people and campaign for other Green candidates. Tulsi would be a dream for them. So, in any event, there you go. I'm going to keep going with this because you know why? Because our country is too important to just say it's over, or somebody else is, Elizabeth Warren, she's going to be coronated and the media is trying to. I'm not going to care when they do. It just means that we have to work harder to find alternative ways to explain information to the average citizen who wakes up, has a cup of coffee, looks at the world and says, what the heck is going on today? We're going to have to find a way to get to that person. And that's our real difficulty right now. So I'm done with this video. Be back soon. Thanks again for watching these videos. And again, if you can support me via Patreon or PayPal, it is much appreciated. Talk to you soon.